hello everyone. Welcome to CCW TV, the Comic Culture Warrior video channel. I'm Elliot Serrano, and this is Jose Melendez, coming to you from Dreamland Comics in Schaumburg, Illinois. Today we are joined by Avi, who made a guest appearance not that long ago, just a couple weeks ago. When we were talking about the Incarnate Swipe or Rip Off, I think was what we ended up titling those series, which were very, very popular.
Threat or Menace.
Talked about quite a bit, and even noticed by one Mr. Rich Johnston. If you can believe that. Why? Because Jose was wearing a Bleeding Cool shirt during those segments. So,
are you wearing it today?
No.
So we're back yet again.
I should wear it every week, though.
Yeah, I should.
Every week. If Rich Johnston notices it, that'd be great. We're back again to talk. We're going to do a couple reviews this time. It's kind of new that we have Avi in on the reviews. But we're going to do a pair of reviews. And we're also going to be talking about some things that came up over the last week or so on the CCW TV blog, which, if you don't check out the CCW TV blog, you're missing something big, because the blog actually has been getting a lot more attention lately, even so far as to have gotten the notice of one of Marvel's top writers. And a big part of the conversation will be about that. So, before we get into that, let's do a quick review here so that we can help out, some of you folks out there who've been wondering what's good to read. People, for some reason, and I am a little surprised by this, people kind of want our opinion.
People read this stuff?
The books they read, but
Okay.
we're talking about, they'll say like, hey, guys, can you tell us what's a good book to read? And I somehow, some way,
Even a broken clock
is
right.
right
Twice a day.
twice a day.
So,
Yeah, though we're only doing a couple of reviews this week, next week is going to be a pretty big review week for us, like Siege number 3 and some other books are going to be coming out, so we're going to get back into more reviews, a lot more reviews next week.
Today, though, we will talk about Batman and Robin number 10 by Grant Morrison, with art choice by Andy Clark and Scott Hanna. Andy Clark, who we grew to know and love in Rebels, on Rebels, which was a really great book.
And he actually has done some Batman stuff. He did some Batman stuff about 6 months ago in Batman Confidential. He did a story, too.
So, this is being billed as the first part of the Return of Bruce Wayne, where, Grant Morrison is going to kick off that whole, Batman is the ultimate man, working his way back through time, and blase, blase, blase. But in this issue it's kind of the whole, Dick Grayson and Damian are both coming to terms with the idea that, yes, Batman is indeed, or Bruce Wayne, could very well indeed be alive, and has dropped clues throughout actually the Wayne family history as to where his whereabouts are. And so this book kind of picks that up. It's a little light on the action, actually. There's not a whole lot of action, if any, in this book.
Light on the action and very heavy in the mystery.
Very heavy in the mystery and kind of heavy on the exposition, too. It's a lot of talking. And if you haven't been following Batman and Robin, or at least Grant Morrison's Batman and Robin, some of this stuff might come out of left field for you, because we have a character here called the Oberon Sexton, a masked man wearing a top hat. What the hell,
Well, it's Grant Morrison, dude.
It's Grant Morrison.
you don't have a problem with the red glasses, though?
Yeah, here's the problem with the top hat, not the red
top.
glasses.
I don't know, just a top hat. But the top hat also has a little sash that hangs off the back.
He looks like a fanciful rose from the Spider-Man comics.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's exactly what he is, actually, without the top hat. Yeah,
Without the top hat.
that's a good call.
So, the mystery is deepening here. Dick and Damian are investigating. Alfred is sorting through clues
In the back computer?
on the in the Bat computer in the Batmobile, of all things. And what really stood out about this particular issue for me was, I'm telling you, I really enjoy the relationship that Dick and Damian have in this book.
Yeah.
I said it right from the beginning. You were actually with us when we first.
I was, yeah.
When
For
the
the first issue.
First issue of Batman and Robin came out. And we were talking about how the dynamic was just so cool, how they kind of inverted it, where Robin is kind of this vicious little fuck, and Batman is the cool-headed person in the duo, and how they balance each other out. And now here you're getting this bit of a sense that Damian, who entered into the role of Robin quite reluctantly, has now grown very accustomed to the role and doesn't want to let it go.
Yeah, and actually you have him at Wayne Enterprise board meetings because Bruce Wayne isn't there.
And how old is his character supposed to be? Like 13?
He's like, no,
See,
he's like
we
10.
talked about this.
He's like 10,
No.
11, something like
Is
that.
he?
Yeah.
We talked about this before, and somebody on the boards had corrected us. I think that he's like supposed to be like 12 or 13.
I mean, 10, 9, 12, 13, whatever. It's so ridiculous, the notion of this kid at a board meeting.
Well,
It's-
it's
Well, I think that's the whole point, though.
Right.
but it's also he's like Doogie Howser. He's
Enough said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just saying he's like Doogie Howser meets Batman. The kid's
Right.
brilliant, you know.
But, I mean, the thing is, like, everyone around there, there should be more harumphing.
Well, there was a bit of
Well, there was
harumphing in
a
this
bit,
one. There's
yeah.
a bit of harumphing, actual literal harumphing. I think someone goes
Well,
harum. Yeah, there we go, harum.
And There's an in there.
Was there a... yeah, there's a... yeah.
There's a harm and a harum.
I stand corrected.
But again, this character from the very beginning, I never cared for the Damian character. I remember when
Well,
I
in
was
the
first
right.
introduced to him, and now I really like him because he's just really been realized so well.
You know what's ironic, though, is the notion that he's kind of the character that everyone accused Tim Drake of being
Yeah.
before they killed Robin.
Yeah.
Because really, if you go back and read some of those old Tim Drake comics, he was actually just a very nice kid who just happened to be like he was basically Dick Grayson with red hair who had to dye it black or whatever.
Right.
And then maybe a few months before they killed him off, they just started making him kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I actually like the old Tim Drake Robin. I mean, when Chuck Dixon wrote him, yeah, you're right. He was a nice kid, a smart kid.
Wait, am I talking about Tim Drake or am I talking about...
You're talking about Jason Todd.
Jason Todd. I apologize. Jason Todd is what I'm talking about. Yeah, Tim Drake's always been a nice kid.
Yeah.
But Jason Todd...
Like a minute ago, people were already typing a comment.
Backspace. Yeah.
That was Jason Todd.
Jason Todd, you're right, yeah.
No, Jason Todd was, he was.
But he was not originally... The character didn't start out as being a jerk. They kind of made him a little bit of a jerk towards the end of his run. But I mean, and it's funny because everyone hated that. Now in the 2000s, everyone loves...
Everyone likes grim and gritty.
Robin.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, I think the issue always was with Jason Todd was that he kind of fell into the Robin role, and without Dick Grayson really passing that baton to him,
Right, that's true.
there was a lot of resentment built up there. That's why when Tim Drake came along, they made sure to establish a relationship between Tim and Dick so that there wouldn't be that same sort of resentment. And
And I think this is actually going in the reverse, where Damian is kind of an asshole and a dick, but now he's kind of starting to come
turning into
around.
yes.
Now
Right.
he's starting, he actually respects Dick Grayson, and they have the
Defends
conversation. Yeah, defends him to Talia, his mother, saying, "I think I want to do this."
right. And then there's this whole, and we're not giving anything away because on the cover it shows it, but there's this whole like Manchurian candidate type, subplot going.
But actually,
here.
I told Avi, I do like the fact that the scene on the comic cover actually happens in the comic.
It happens in the comic.
How about
right.
that?
Yeah. So, and it was actually kind of well written. You expect it to go in that kind of the cliched direction. If anything, it didn't. And and I don't know. I don't know if I should be. If I should be offended that Dick is like completely unaware of what's going on around him, like this whole thing's going. He notices something strange going on with Damian, but he doesn't know quite what it is.
In the split second before he falls through.
Right
the,
there, yeah, but yeah,
Not a lot of acrobatic power they're getting out of that
No.
falling through the glass.
No,
Yeah.
but still a really good issue, and it's starting off the whole return of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know. I hope they keep Damian around though, because he just become. And I said this when we first started talking about when Judd Winnick was on Batman and he was writing this before Tony Daniel came out and ruined the book.
But although it didn't hurt the sales of it.
No, it didn't actually. Well, it did. A little bit.
It didn't drop out of the top 20.
Right, that's true. Unfortunately.
In fact, it stayed in the top 15 for a while.
No, but I stand by the original assessment that I made of the game, that I really like the character and it's a fun character, and Morrison actually has the character evolving throughout this series. Mm-hmm. And when Bruce comes back, I just hope that he stays on the book, or Robin stays on the book.
Oh, he should. You don't put this much development into a character to ditch him. Just like Bucky is going to stay Captain America for a while. I have a feeling that Dick is probably going to stay as Batman just for a little bit. Maybe not as long.
You think so?
A little bit, because I don't see this being a repeat of the Prodigal storyline. Remember the moment Bruce came back, bam, that was it. He was Batman. I have a feeling that there's going to be something going on with Bruce Wayne for a little bit, possibly.
I think is Batman 700 coming out soon?
Yeah, I think that's in July.
That'll be when Batman is Bruce Wayne.
But that's when I called that, like, when Bruce Wayne died. I'm like, watch, he's gonna be back in number 700.
I think what'll be the situation is that Dick Grayson will be happy to get rid of the role. He even mentions like
he'll go back to being Nightwing. Yeah, he even says it himself.
Dan Didio be damned. I'll be Nightwing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, as an issue, I'm not really sure if I would agree with you that this is a good issue. I mean, it's got some interesting stuff in there, but
it's better than the last two story arcs.
But like, if I was a kid and I picked this thing up, or if I was at a,
yeah,
I'd be like,
I see what you're saying.
There's not really much to it. Like,
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Well, if you're a kid, you should be picking up Ultimate Adventures anyway. So what do you know?
Oh no!
And there's not a single baby thrown out of a window in this entire book.
Talk about
boring, crappy comics.
Boring.
Okay, so we'll end on that note because that actually helps us segue into the next segment. Batman and Robin gets a high five from Jose and I, and a tepid meh from Avi. So that's okay.
It's not terrible.
Not terrible. But, when we come back, we will talk about quote unquote boring comics and the conversation that came up on the CCW blog. Trust me, you won't want to miss this.